What if the only thing standing between you and a life of wealth is the way you think? Think about that. Not your job, not your background, not your education or your current bank account, just your mind. The thoughts you repeat every day. The beliefs you quietly carry. The way you see yourself when no one else is watching. That's what shapes your future. That's what builds or breaks the life you're chasing. Most people never question their thoughts. They live inside invisible cages made of fear, doubt, and scarcity. They've been told that success is reserved for the lucky, the gifted, or the privileged, so they stop trying. They settle. But that's not you, not anymore. There's a shift that happens when you realize your mind is your most powerful tool. Everything begins there. Every millionaire, every empire, every breakthrough started as a single thought, a decision, a belief that said, I can. And if they could do it, so can you. Because your potential isn't limited by your past. It's only limited by the story you keep telling yourself. When you think small, you act small. When you think with fear, you make decisions from fear. And when you believe you don't deserve more, you never even try to reach for it. But when you change the way you think, everything changes. This is not about pretending. It's about choosing. Choosing to take control of your mind instead of letting the world shape it for you. Choosing to see yourself as capable, powerful, and worthy even before the results show up. Because true millionaires think differently. They think with vision. They think with purpose. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait until the bank account looks good. They start where they are, with what they have. And they move forward with belief, not fear. You don't need $1 million to start thinking like a millionaire. You just need the courage to question the old thoughts that have held you back. You need to decide that your past does not define your future. You need to stop playing small and start thinking bigger. Because you were made for more than just surviving. You were made to create, to build, to grow, to thrive. And it starts with one decision, to change the way you think. This isn't just motivation, this is transformation. And the reward is greater than money. It's freedom, it's confidence. It's waking up every day knowing you're living by choice, not by chance. So stay with me, because by the end of this, you won't just feel inspired, you'll feel different. You'll see through the eyes of a true millionaire. And when that shift happens, when your mind opens, you'll realize the power has been yours all along. Don't look away. Don't stop now. This is your moment to rise. Not just to learn how millionaires live, but to become one from the inside out. Let's begin. If you truly want to change your life, you must want it so deeply that nothing can shake you. Not fear, not failure, not time, not the opinions of others. That's the power of a burning desire. It's not a passing wish. It's not a casual hope. It's an obsession that lives in your chest, refusing to go quiet. It keeps you up at night. It wakes you up early. It whispers in your ear when no one else believes. That kind of desire doesn't ask for permission. It demands action. And if you don't have that fire yet, then it's time to light it. Most people never reach their potential because they never get serious about what they want. They say they want more, but they don't burn for it. They say they want freedom, but they keep waiting for the right time. That's not how greatness works. Nothing extraordinary happens without obsession, the kind that makes you feel like you're suffocating unless you do something about it. That's when you know you're ready, when you stop being able to tolerate your current life. When the thought of staying the same becomes more painful than the risk of change. You don't need to know how it's all going to happen. You just need to decide that it must happen right now, not tomorrow, not someday, now. Your future will not wait for your comfort. Your dreams will not survive your hesitation. They need your full commitment. That burning desire will carry you when everything else feels too heavy, when the doubt creeps in, when progress feels slow, when failure knocks at your door. It's your fire that keeps you standing. And here's the truth. If your desire is weak, your actions will be weak. You'll quit when it's hard. You'll settle when it's scary. You'll lower your standards when things don't go your way. But when your desire burns like a furnace inside of you, you won't stop until you get there. You'll push harder. You'll rise faster. You'll fight longer. Not because it's easy, but because you refuse to live a life that doesn't reflect who you really are. So ask yourself, what do you want so badly that it hurts? What dream keeps coming back no matter how many times you try to bury it? That's the one you chase. That's the one you give everything to. Stop silencing it. Stop shrinking it down to fit your fear. Let it grow. Let it roar. Let it drive every move you make from this moment forward. You don't need to wait for motivation. You need to create it. Let your desire be louder than your excuses. Let it be the fuel that turns ordinary into exceptional. Let it become so strong that people feel it when you walk into the room. This is how you begin. This is how the transformation starts. When your desire becomes non-negotiable, your future becomes inevitable. And right now, that fire is yours to ignite. When you believe in something with all your heart, you move differently. You speak with certainty. You act with conviction. You keep going when others quit. That's the power of belief. And nothing transforms your world faster than learning to believe in yourself before the evidence appears. Most people wait. They wait for signs. They wait for progress. They wait for validation. But true achievers believe first. They see the result in their mind long before it shows up in real life. That belief becomes their fuel, their armor, their edge, and it can become yours too. You are not stuck because of your circumstances. You are stuck because you've allowed your doubt to speak louder than your potential. Every time you hesitate, every time you second guess, you send a signal to your brain that says, "I'm not ready." And your brain listens. It pulls back. It plays small. But belief flips the switch. When you tell yourself, "I was built for this," everything inside you starts looking for proof. Your actions change. Your posture changes. Your energy changes. That's not magic. That's psychology, and you can train it. Belief is a muscle. You don't need to be born with it. You build it. Every time you show up. Every time you choose courage over comfort. Every time you push through fear, you're laying another brick in the foundation of your confidence. And over time, that foundation becomes unshakable. You begin to expect success. You begin to move like it's already done. And people feel that. Opportunities feel that. The world starts reflecting the belief you carry inside. You've spent too long waiting for permission, waiting for a sign to tell you it's your time. But the truth is, the moment you believe it's your time, it becomes your time. That's the shift. That's the transformation. Not when the money shows up, not when the results are visible, but when your mind locks in, when your belief becomes so strong that nothing outside of you can weaken it. Stop underestimating what's possible for you. Stop feeding the voice that says you're not enough. You don't need more proof. You don't need more time. You need belief. The kind that says, no matter what happens, I will not stop until I get what I came for. That's what turns average into unstoppable. That's what turns a dream into a reality. This is your moment to step into the mindset of certainty. Not because it's guaranteed, but because you've decided. Because you know deep down that the life you want isn't just possible. It's waiting for you to believe enough to go after it with everything you've got. Nothing will change until you change the way you see yourself. So start now, not halfway, not with hesitation, fully, boldly, unapologetically. Believe in yourself like your future depends on it, because it does. What you tell yourself matters more than anything anyone else could ever say. Your words become commands. They shape your beliefs. They build your identity. Every time you speak, you either build yourself up or tear yourself down. Most people are trapped by their own inner voice. They don't even hear it anymore, but it's there, whispering doubts, replaying old failures, reinforcing limitations that don't belong to them. You can't think like a millionaire with a voice inside your head that keeps calling you small. You have to change the script. And that starts with the words you feed your mind every single day. Your subconscious listens. It listens when you say, "I can't." It listens when you say, "I'm not good enough." It listens when you call yourself unlucky, unworthy, or not ready. And then it works to prove you right. That's how powerful it is. It creates patterns. It builds habits. It pulls you back into alignment with the identity you've accepted. But the good news is this: it can be reprogrammed. You can teach it a new language, a new rhythm, a new truth. You don't have to believe it at first. You just have to say it with repetition and conviction until belief catches up. Every time you repeat a new message, you carve a new path in your brain. It's science. Your thoughts create patterns, and those patterns create behavior. So when you speak life into yourself, When you say, I am capable, I am focused, I am unstoppable, you're not just saying words. You're building a new future. You're choosing to rise above the noise of your past. You're planting seeds that grow into action, confidence, and power. You're not too late. You're not too broken. You're not too behind. That's the old voice. That's the programming that was passed down, picked up, or repeated so many times you started to believe it. But now you decide. You become the voice. You set the tone. You choose the thoughts. This is your power. You don't have to be a prisoner of old beliefs. You can write new ones. You can look in the mirror and speak strength into yourself even when you feel weak. You can declare your future before anyone else sees it. And you can make it real. Don't wait for confidence to appear. Speak it into existence. Don't wait to feel worthy. Remind yourself that you already are. The world reflects what you reflect within. So fill your mind with thoughts that empower. Speak words that build. And when doubt shows up, speak louder. Not with fear, but with purpose. This is how you take back control, not by chance, by choice. Feed your mind the truth until it believes nothing else. You are ready. You are worthy, and your words will lead the way. The mind that creates wealth is also the mind that creates discipline. Without it, dreams fade. Without it, desire burns out. Discipline is the bridge between what you want and what you become. It's the invisible force that shapes your day, your choices, your destiny. Not motivation, not luck, discipline. The ability to do what must be done even when you don't feel like doing it, especially then, because that's when it matters most. Millionaire thinking is rooted in this truth. Consistency beats intensity. Anyone can get excited for a day. Few can stay committed for years. That's what separates the dreamers from the achievers. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build inner strength. You become the kind of person who follows through. That's power, that's self-respect, and it compounds, like interest, like momentum, one decision at a time. One morning you rise early. 1 hour you push through when you want to quit. One moment you choose growth over comfort. That's how greatness is built. In the small, unseen, uncelebrated choices that stack up and change everything. This is how you train your mind to stop negotiating with weakness. You lead it, you direct it, you tell it where to go. That's discipline. It's not about being perfect. It's about being relentless. You will fall, you will get tired, you will want to take the easy way out. But you don't, because you're no longer chasing feelings. You're chasing outcomes, you're chasing mastery. You're chasing a version of yourself that already exists in the future, and every act of discipline brings you closer. That's why this matters, not just for success, but for freedom. Because the more control you gain over your actions, the more control you gain over your life. You become immune to distractions. You stop wasting time on what doesn't matter. You start living with urgency, focus, and direction. That's how leaders are made. That's how wealth is created. Not just financial wealth, but mental wealth, emotional wealth, time freedom, health, peace. All of it is earned through discipline. It's the foundation of every breakthrough. It's the difference between potential and progress. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop hoping for the perfect time. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It only asks if you'll show up, if you'll do the work. If you'll honor the commitment you made to yourself when no one else is watching, and when you do that over and over again, you become unstoppable, not because everything is easy, but because you've trained yourself to keep going when it's hard. That's how you rise. That's how you build something no one can take from you. A mindset forged in discipline, a character built in resistance, a future carved from effort. The world doesn't give freedom to the lazy. It rewards the focused, the committed, the disciplined, and that's who you're becoming, one action at a time. You can't control everything, but you can control your focus. And where your focus goes, your energy flows. That's not just a phrase, it's a law of life. Every result you create, every habit you build, every outcome you experience comes from the direction of your attention. Most people fail not because they don't have potential, but because their focus is scattered. They chase distractions. They entertain doubts. They spend their days reacting instead of creating. But when you learn to master your focus, everything changes. You stop wasting time. You stop giving energy to what drains you. You start building a life that moves forward, deliberately, powerfully, without apology. The mind will always find something to obsess over. If you don't give it a target, it will choose one for you, usually fear, negativity, or noise. But when you set a clear goal and lock your attention on it, you cut through the chaos. You train your brain to look for solutions, not problems. You start noticing opportunities that others miss. That's not luck. That's laser focus. And it's built by choice, by repetition, by discipline. You don't need to control the world. You just need to control your attention. That's where power lives. Clarity sharpens focus. So get clear. Not someday, now. What do you really want? Not the version you think is realistic, the one that sets your soul on fire. Make it vivid, make it bold. See it so clearly that it becomes impossible to ignore. Because once you know where you're going, every decision becomes easier. Every excuse becomes weaker. Every obstacle becomes smaller. You stop asking if you're capable and start acting like it's already done. That's the shift. That's the mindset of someone who refuses to be average. Distraction is the enemy of purpose. Every time you scroll endlessly, every time you engage in drama, every time you say yes to things that don't serve your mission, you rob yourself, not just of time, but of momentum. And momentum is everything. Without it, you hesitate. With it, you fly. Protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Say no to the noise. Say no to the endless opinions. Say no to anything that doesn't move you closer to who you're becoming. This is how the elite think. They guard their time. They train their minds. They focus with intensity. And they don't break that focus just because the world tries to pull them in 100 directions. You have that power too. You don't need to do more. You need to do less, better, sharper, stronger, with clarity, with intention, with full presence. Focus is not something you find. It's something you build. And every moment you choose it, you take control back, not just of your goals, but of your life. So aim with purpose. Eliminate what doesn't matter, and lock in with everything you've got. Because the life you want isn't hiding. It's waiting for your full attention. If you want to rise, you must raise your standards. Not once, every day, in every area. Your standards are the invisible ceiling of your life. You will never rise above what you tolerate. And too often, people settle for average, not because they lack ambition, but because they've accepted comfort as a substitute for growth. The path to a millionaire mindset is paved with high standards. Standards for how you think, how you act, how you treat your time, and what you allow into your life. When your standards rise, everything else must rise with them. Look at the results you have right now. They reflect the standards you've accepted. Not what you hoped for, not what you wished for, what you've tolerated. If your bank account isn't where you want it to be, it's because you've tolerated a lower standard of earning, saving, or discipline. If your health isn't where it should be, it's because the standard has been survival, not strength. That's not judgment, it's truth. And truth is the foundation of change. When you tell yourself the truth, you regain power. You stop blaming and start building. You weren't born to settle. You weren't designed to live on autopilot. You were meant to stretch, to strive, to demand more from yourself, not because you're broken, but because you're capable. You already know what happens when you lower your standards. You shrink. You feel stuck. You begin to forget your own power. But when you raise them, you force your life to meet you at a higher level. You start attracting better. You start expecting more. You stop making excuses and start making moves. Raising your standards is not about perfection. It's about refusing to play small. It's looking at your habits and asking, does this align with the person I want to become? It's cutting ties with the version of yourself that accepts mediocrity. It's choosing excellence, not occasionally, but relentlessly. That choice will challenge you. It will require effort, but it will also transform you. Because your future will always match the level of standards you enforce, not the level of goals you dream about. No one hands you greatness. You rise into it, and you rise by deciding every single day that you will not settle, that you will not waste your potential, that you will hold yourself to the highest possible standard even when no one's watching, especially then. Because your real life is built in the unseen hours, in the choices no one applauds, in the moments when it's just you, your vision, and your discipline. This is where breakthroughs are born, not in hype, in habits, in standards so strong that they don't bend under pressure. Set them high, then match them with action. Relentless action, aligned action. Action that says, I refuse to live below what I know I'm capable of. That's how legacies are built. That's how true transformation begins. And that's how you start living like your potential is non-negotiable, because it is. Every action you take is a vote for the person you believe yourself to be. That's why identity is everything. Not just what you do, but who you decide you are. You don't become a millionaire by chasing money. You become one by adopting the identity of someone who builds wealth, someone who thinks long-term, someone who protects their time, sharpens their mind, and refuses to let comfort destroy their future. Real transformation begins when you stop asking, what should I do? And start asking, who must I become? Because when your identity shifts, your behavior follows. You act in alignment with who you believe you are. If you see yourself as undisciplined, you'll sabotage progress. If you label yourself as unlucky, you'll miss every opportunity. But if you believe you are capable, resourceful, and destined for more, then even your worst days become fuel. Even your failures become feedback. The identity you carry into each day determines what you tolerate, how you respond, and what you expect from life. And if you don't choose it consciously, the world will choose it for you. It will hand you a script of limitation, fear, and excuses. But you weren't made to fit into that script. You were made to rewrite it. The shift happens when you decide you're no longer available for anything less than the highest version of yourself. That version already exists. It's waiting to be activated. And you activate it through action, through thought, through intention. Speak like the person you want to be. Walk like the person who's already achieved it. Make decisions as if your success is inevitable. Because the truth is, every great result is just a byproduct of someone showing up consistently as the person who could create it. This is where real power lives, not in external achievements, but in internal alignment. When your beliefs match your behavior, you become unstoppable, no longer pulled in different directions, no longer second-guessing your worth. You're clear, you're confident, you're consistent. That's the mindset of someone who's not just trying to change their life, they're changing who they are. And that change lasts, because it's not built on hype, it's built on identity. Start calling yourself what you want to become, not in arrogance, but in belief, not based on your past, but based on your potential. Say it, live it, prove it, because repetition becomes reality. And soon, your results catch up to your identity, not by accident, but by design. Because when you believe in your own power, you stop playing small. You stop settling for surface-level success. You go deeper, you build stronger, you rise higher. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are your decisions. And the most powerful decision you'll ever make is to become the person your future requires. Own that identity, step into it fully, and act like the outcome is already yours. Because when your identity aligns, everything else follows. The strongest force in human behavior is the need to stay consistent with who you believe you are. Once you claim a new identity, you must defend it with action. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is not punishment, it's power. It's the choice to act in alignment with your highest self, even when motivation fades. Anyone can feel excited for a day, but what separates the truly unstoppable from the wishful thinkers is the ability to show up when it's hard, when it's lonely, when no one is watching. That's what builds strength. That's what builds trust with yourself. And self-trust is the foundation of greatness. When you break a promise to yourself, it chips away at your identity. Each time you say you'll do something and don't, your mind learns to doubt you. But every time you follow through, even in small things, you send a different message. I am someone who keeps going. I am someone who gets it done. That internal consistency is what allows external success to take root. You become reliable in your own eyes, and that reliability becomes a source of unstoppable momentum. Discipline is a form of self-respect. You don't do the hard things because you have to. You do them because you refuse to let your future self down. You've decided that comfort is not your master, that distractions no longer deserve your attention, that short-term pleasure is never worth the cost of long-term regret. That mindset creates freedom, real freedom, not the freedom to escape, but the freedom to rise, the freedom to build a life that reflects your highest values. You won't always feel like it, that's the truth. You'll have days where doubt screams louder than belief, where fatigue tries to convince you to pause, where your old patterns beg you to take the easy way out. But your discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it demands you rise above it. It's the quiet, daily decision to become unshakable. It's what builds character, and character is what carries you through when motivation disappears. Don't wait to feel ready. Readiness is a myth. Winners act their way into confidence. They don't need everything to be perfect. They just need to take the next step, with clarity, with courage, with commitment. Discipline is not about extremes. It's about consistency, doing what matters again and again until the habits are locked in and the results are undeniable. There will always be a reason to quit, but there will always be a deeper reason to keep going. Anchor yourself in that reason. Let it burn inside you. Let it guide your choices. Every rep, every hour, every disciplined act is a brick in the foundation of your legacy. Keep building, keep rising, because discipline is the difference between dreams and results. And the moment you choose discipline over doubt, you stop wishing and start becoming. You have everything you need to succeed. The only thing standing between you and your potential is the belief that you can't. You've been conditioned to doubt your power, to question your worth, and to measure your progress against the world's standards instead of your own. But true wealth isn't just about money, it's about mindset. It's about cultivating the belief that you deserve greatness, that you have the ability to create, to build, to rise above anything that tries to hold you back. It's about trusting in yourself, even when the path isn't clear, even when the results aren't instant. Too many people live their lives based on fear. The fear of failure, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of taking the first step. But fear is just the story your mind tells you to keep you small. It's the voice that says you can't when everything inside you says you can. And the moment you choose to listen to that inner voice of power is the moment you begin to break free. That moment might feel uncertain, uncomfortable, even terrifying, but it's also the most important moment of your life. It's when you choose courage over comfort, action over hesitation, progress over perfection. Success doesn't come to those who wait for the perfect opportunity. It comes to those who create opportunities by taking bold action. It comes to those who push through the doubts and fears and continue moving forward, even when they don't have all the answers. When you take that first step, you show the universe that you're serious. You show yourself that you're capable of more than you ever thought possible. You start to build momentum, and momentum is everything. Once it's going, it carries you. It takes you places you never imagined. But this journey isn't easy. It's not meant to be. If it were easy, everyone would be a millionaire. The truth is, success requires sacrifice. It requires discipline. It requires the willingness to do what others won't, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's painful. Success isn't just about achieving a goal, it's about becoming the person who can sustain that success. And that person is made through trials, through persistence, through failure and growth. The person you must become to achieve your dreams is built in the moments when you choose to keep going, when you choose to rise despite the odds. Every day, you're writing your story. You're either writing a story of someone who quits or someone who keeps fighting. You're either writing a story of excuses or one of relentless commitment. You're either writing a story of someone who waits for things to change or someone who makes them change. Your future is created by what you do today, by the choices you make now. So choose wisely. Choose courage, choose action, choose to rise, because you have everything inside you to achieve more than you've ever dreamed. You just have to believe it and act on it. Every great achievement begins with a decision. It starts the moment you stop waiting for things to change and decide that you will change. You stop looking for the perfect moment, the perfect circumstances. Instead, you create them. The power to shape your life is within you, but you must claim it. Every thought you think, every decision you make, every action you take is a reflection of the future you're creating. And it's not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about showing up even when you don't have all the answers, even when you feel uncertain, because the act of showing up is what transforms you. Every step forward, no matter how small, leads you to the person you need to be to achieve everything you want. The truth is, success isn't about a sudden breakthrough. It's about the accumulation of small actions, the quiet, consistent work that no one sees but that will, over time, become undeniable. It's about getting 1% better each day. It's about choosing to do what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it. It's in those moments when you push past your resistance that you build the muscle of discipline. The more you practice discipline, the stronger you become. And that strength will carry you through every challenge, every obstacle. It's in your ability to keep going when everyone else would quit, to keep believing when everything feels impossible. This is the path to greatness, and it's paved with persistence. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to wait for the stars to align. You need to start now with what you have where you are. The path will reveal itself as you walk it. You don't have to know every step. You just have to take the next one. Don't let fear of the unknown hold you back. Fear is just the mind's way of protecting you from change, from stepping outside your comfort zone. But growth only happens when you step into the discomfort. When you choose to act despite the fear, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than the doubts and the worries. You prove that you're capable of more than you've ever imagined. What you do in those moments when the path is unclear defines who you become. Do you freeze or do you step forward? Do you retreat into your comfort zone or do you push past it? Every choice matters. Every action adds to your foundation. And over time, you'll see the results of your consistency. You'll look back and realize that the success you're seeking wasn't some far-off destination. It was always within you. You just had to take the first step. Success isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. It's about pacing yourself, about knowing that every day you're building something greater than yourself. The journey is the reward. It's not about how fast you get there, but about staying the course, no matter the obstacles. Trust the process. Trust that every small step forward is bringing you closer to your goal. Keep going, keep growing. Your future is waiting, and it's closer than you think. The journey is never linear, and the road will often seem longer than you anticipated. But that's the nature of success. It's not about perfection, it's about resilience. Every setback, every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your resolve. When things go wrong, don't view it as failure. See it as feedback. Each mistake is a lesson, each obstacle a stepping stone. The people who win aren't the ones who avoid problems. They are the ones who embrace them and learn from them. They understand that each difficulty is part of the process of becoming who they need to be to achieve their dreams. The moment you decide that you won't give up, that you'll learn from every misstep, your whole perspective changes. You stop seeing roadblocks and start seeing pathways. Every challenge becomes a chance to grow, to evolve, to rise. It's easy to be motivated when things are going well, when success feels just around the corner. But true greatness is forged in the fires of adversity. It's in those moments, when the world seems against you, that your character is built. And your character is what will carry you to the finish line, long after the initial excitement fades. Commitment to your vision means committing to the process, no matter how hard it gets. It means being willing to go all in, even when you're not sure if it will pay off. You may not see the results right away, but that doesn't mean you're not moving forward. Trust in the work. Trust in yourself. Trust that the effort you put in today will compound over time. Success doesn't come from doing everything perfectly. It comes from doing it consistently. And every time you show up, you get closer. Closer to the person you were meant to be. Closer to the success you've been chasing. Closer to the life you deserve. If you're feeling stuck, don't see it as a sign to quit. See it as a sign to push harder. You're in a moment of transformation. When you feel like you've reached your limit, that's when you're actually expanding. The person who never faces challenges will never grow beyond the limits of their current self. It's the struggle that shapes you, that pushes you to become someone who can handle the success you're striving for. Don't fear the hard moments. Embrace them. They are the key to unlocking your true potential. You're stronger than you think. You've already overcome challenges in the past that you once thought were impossible. Look back at those moments. Remember how you pushed through, how you kept going when it felt like everything was against you. That same strength is within you now. The only difference is that now you know how to harness it. Now you know that success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about rising each time you fall. Keep going, no matter how many times you stumble. Every step, every struggle is a part of your transformation. You're becoming the person who can handle the life you're building. Trust the process, trust yourself, and keep moving forward. The best is yet to come. You have everything it takes to succeed, but first you must choose to believe that you do. The first step toward change is deciding that you are capable of creating the future you want. This belief isn't just wishful thinking. It's a mindset that shapes your reality. The power to transform your life lies in your hands, but it requires trust in yourself even when the path is unclear. You don't need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. It's the act of moving forward, even in uncertainty, that will carry you to places you never imagined. There will be times when the road seems endless, times when the weight of your dreams feels too heavy. But it's in those moments that you must remember this truth. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. You will never expand, never reach your potential by playing it safe. The person you're becoming is shaped by the risks you take, the challenges you face, and the courage you summon when everything inside you says to quit. But quitting is not in your DNA. You are meant for more than that. You were born with an inner fire that cannot be extinguished by the first sign of difficulty. Success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about pacing yourself, not rushing to the finish line, but understanding that every single step forward is progress. Even on the days when you feel like you've barely moved, you are still moving. The secret to success lies in consistency. The magic happens when you show up every day, regardless of how you feel. When you continue even when it seems like no one is watching. When you keep pushing, even when the results aren't immediately visible. It's the effort you put in when no one is around that separates the dreamers from the doers. Success doesn't owe you anything, and it's not something that will simply fall into your lap. You must fight for it. You must earn it through persistence, patience, and an unshakable belief that your dreams are possible. The world will test you. It will throw challenges your way that seem impossible to overcome. But it's in the struggle that you find your true strength. When you choose to keep moving, to stay focused, to refuse to give up, you reveal a power within you that can't be matched. Your journey is your own. It doesn't look like anyone else's. And that's where the beauty lies. Every step you take brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. You are shedding the old versions of yourself with each decision you make, each action you take. You're growing stronger, wiser, more determined. The discomfort you feel now is temporary. The transformation it brings will last forever. Your future self is waiting for you to show up, to make the choice today that will shape tomorrow. So make it count. Keep moving forward. Your success is inevitable as long as you don't stop. The life you desire is within reach. It always has been. You just need to believe it. You just need to act on it. The journey is yours. Don't wait. Start now.